All right, much better. So, had my shower. I feel better. I'm much more awake. So we're gonna get into the last parts of this, which is best characters, best ships, and games as well. Oh, and the summary. So, best characters from Trek. Definitely the captains, and like for me, it's Picard, Cisco, Janeway, Archer. Well, not Archer too much. I don't know. I have to rewatch Enterprise and see. Um, and what's her name on Discovery? I can't remember her name. Oh well, but I like the new stuff and I like the old stuff, but not all of it. I'm picky. But I mean, if you're gonna go by like if we're doing it objectively, it's like all the captains are good. Each of them is different in his or her own way. It depends on how you look at it, and then you got the first officers and they're phenomenal, and there's the secondary characters that are really good and really bring passion to the show itself. Water in my ear. Um, Let me see here. 7 of 9. Neelix, Cass, Chakotay, T'Pol. Most of the cast from Discovery so far that I like. Lorca, he was good. I really did like that plot twist with his. That was awesome as fuck. Um, Riker, Troy, Worf, Crusher, Kira, O'Brien, Q, Ducat. Oh, what was the other dude's name? Shit, I'm drawing a blank. I forget. Actually, let me check real quick. I know it's gonna eat up video time, but I want to check because I know his name. Come on, thank you. Yeah, it's 9. Yes, give me this. Thank you. Yeah, Ducat. Gowron. Garrick. That's who I was thinking. Garrick. Ugh, couldn't think of his damn name. Garrick, Rom, Nog. All the good fucking characters. There's another one. I can't think of any more. But you get there's a slew I liked. Kirk. I don't know. From the original series, I didn't really like too many of them except Spock. Like Spock's the one that's really like synonymous with me when I think of the original series. Just basically Spock. Sorry. In Star Wars, obviously the OT. Objectively, unobjectively, I don't give a fuck about them. Yeah, you got the OT, Thrawn, Yuuzhan Vong, the Old Republic Sith, Nog Sadao, Revan, Malik, Tahiri, Lumaya, Callista, Garmbel Illis, Jar Jar Binks. He's one of my favorites, actually. And I love the fan theory with his ass, too. That's awesome. Let me see. Wraith Squadron, Isard. Oh, I did like the Andorians too. They were funny as hell. And intriguing. And Vulcans are good too. Ouch. Back. But yeah, just to name a few. Like there's so many characters to choose from and whatnot. And best ships. Everybody's obviously out of Star Wars going to pick Millennium Falcon and Death Star. Um, X-wing, B-wing, A-wing, Y-wing. What was another one? E-wing. Although for me, I like the other ships. I have more of a preference for the other shit versus, you know, what's always chosen. I like Outrider, the K Wing. I do like the B Wing. That's cool as hell. TIE Defender. Um, the Secutor class Star Destroyer. The Harrower class Dreadnought. Um, Fury class Interceptor. MT-AT. Uh, the M6. The Gorilla Walker. Um, TIE Tank. Actually, it's a TIE Crawler. My bad. The TIE Wing. I like that. Yeah, I do like the uglies. Those are my favorites. Oh, they're so pretty. They are so pretty. World Devastators. Then the Naboo Starfighter. That is one of my top picks to fly in. I like that fucker a lot. That thing is fast as fuck. In oh, what was that? Not Lego Star Wars. Oh, I can't remember the damn game. Shit. Like it's so fast. Oh, Rogue Squadron for N64. Yeah, that was awesome because there was a code for that you could get the Naboo Starfighter. That thing is a fast son of a bitch. Whew, I love that bitch. I like Lando's Falcon. Um, something else. Venator class Star Destroyer. Just tons of choices. There's so many. It's just there's so many choices. And then in Star Trek, everybody goes for Enterprise, obviously, because it's the flagship. But for me, it's not just the Enterprise. There's multiple choices. I like the Negvar Klingon battle cruiser, the Bird of Prey from Next Generation. Um, what else? I like Enterprise D. That's fun. I like my top favorite ship is the Akira class. Actually, I don't know what it is about that ship. It's so fucking cool. I love it. I like the way it looks and the way it handles. And I know this from Star Trek, playing Star Trek Legacy. I love the shit out of that ship. It's awesome as hell. It's such a fun ship to play. I love it. It's a fun ship. I like the NX Enterprise. Borg Cube is cool. Romulan Warbird is awesome. Enterprise E is like, it's on my list, but it's probably towards the bottom of it, even though it's highly desirable. Um, what else was there? USS Prometheus, Voyager's on the list, but not very high up. DS9 definitely in the top 10, give or take. So many choices. Delta Flyer, Nemesis. No, not Nemesis. The Scimitar. Yeah, that's like number 2 on my list. Under Akira class, definitely. I like that Scimitar. That ship is so beautiful. It's so big and it's so deadly, but at the same time, it could be used as. Uh, I actually did have an idea for my crossover between the Trek and Wars for that, but I don't know if I'll ever get around to writing it because I don't really do Trek fanfic that much because I'm picky. Um, there's tons of shit. Best weapons, phasers, lightsabers, blasters, best armor. Actually, Star Trek don't have much in armor, honestly. Unless you count, well, Klingons have armor, but not like armor, you know? Not like the clone troopers or stormtroopers or any of that. I do like Klingon weapons though; they're my favorite. Um, what else was there in the way of ships? I think that's about it. Supremacy, yeah, Supremacy, Starforge, Ebon Hawk. Uh, Actually, speaking of Ebon Hawk, if you read Star Wars Thrawn, the comic, there's the Ebon Hawk is actually in the comic. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's in, I forget what panel. I'm not leading over to get it because I'll fall off the bed. It's in one of the, I forget what page it's on. It's in one of the panels. There's an outline of the Ebon Hawk. I swear to God, there's an outline of it. I love that shit. Um, yeah, I think that's it for ships and whatnot and weapons. Like, I don't know. It's hard to pick. Like, there's so many choices. Like, you have tons of armor choices. That's the one thing that baffles me the most about Trek and Wars. Star Trek doesn't have much in the way of armor choices. There's no armor at all. It's weird. Whereas Star Wars is highly, you know, oh, what's the word I want? They push for armor. I can't think of the word. There's a word for it. I don't know. Whatever. So, was that it? So for games, both of them are practically evenly matched for games. Like there's tabletops, there's pinball, there's uh, CD-ROMs, there's VHS games, there's board games, there's tabletop games. I mean, they're still going on to this day. They're still going on. The latest one that's out is Star Wars Armada, and the latest one for Trek, Star Wars. No, Star Wars. Dumbass. Star Trek Online. And their latest DLC was Rise of Discovery, I think. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Rise of Discovery. So, yeah, like, they're, branching out in the market, which is nice, and they're staying relevant. That's the thing, like, you have to stay relevant in this day and age, and it's hard to do that. Because, there's a lot of demand for new franchises and whatnot, while the older franchises are still trying to keep themselves afloat and keep themselves relevant and stuff. And you have Comic-Cons for that, and a whole bunch of other shit as well. Yeah, I think that's it. So, I couldn't see, I had to put my glasses on. So, to summarize, each fandom is different. Each one's unique. And, it's, who's got the better deal? Is it Trek or is it Wars? Well, I don't know. I mean, there's so much there. There's a lot of history, there's a lot of storylines, and there's tons of fucking comics for Star Trek that I have not read, that I want to read, so they'll be new to me, but it'll be old to everybody else, but it's new to me because I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know there was so much stuff I hadn't read. Like the only Trek comics I've read were Next Generation Hive, which I fucking loved. Star Trek Green Lantern, that was good. And there's something else Star Trek I read, or it might have just been those two. I'm not sure. I don't really remember because I've rented so many comic books over the years, and it's hard to keep track. So eventually I will, once I'm done writing, I'll buckle down and kick into some Star Trek comics and, get caught up. Same with Star Wars books. I'll sit down and get on them as well eventually. It's just, I gotta be in the mood to want to do that. It's a mood thing. But objectively, Star Trek versus Star Wars in a versus fight, I would definitely have to say objectively, everything and everything combined, everything, all of it, I would say it's really hard. Because on one hand, I love Star Wars more, but Trek is the mainstay because Trek started it first. And objectively, it is Star Wars. But then again, then that's only because Star Wars keeps with the, quantity over quality, and they reverse it and make it stay relevant. Star Trek lacks that in they take I think they take longer off with they take longer off in building a new storyline and stuff. Like Discovery is amazing, and it's a refreshing reinvention for the franchise, and I love that. And that's what makes it, fun. And then you got Star Trek Picard on the way, and that's going to be exciting to watch for me anyway. I don't know. Everybody else wants to bitch about it and review bomb it. Retards. So, yeah, objectively, I would say. I mean, it could be either one. Either one could win it. It could be Star Wars because of quantity over quality and quality over quantity. And it could also be Star Trek because, they've adapted to the times. Well, both of them have adapted to the times as well, but I think it takes longer for franchises to adapt to the times faster because they want to stay loyal to the fan base, but the real problem is, making it stick and making it work. That's the hard part. So, I don't know. I mean, there's so much out there. Oh my god, it's so much. I mean, there's tons of reinventions, tons of this, tons of that. But if we're gonna compare storytelling, Trek takes it because Star Wars sticks with what's easy, and Trek reinvents itself, which is nice. Because you can't stick to the same shit all the time. If you stick to the same shit all the time, it doesn't always work. And it'll work, but it gets old really quickly. And that's where, like, from objectively, that's where Star Wars fails. They might be making a shit ton of money with Jedi versus Sith and all that, but from an objective standpoint, it's kind of shitty. Because they rely too heavily on it, and it's dumb. That's why it's so easy to put asses in seats and whatnot. Yeah, I'll be going to see Rise of Skywalker. I mean, I'm a dedicated fan and whatnot. But, objectively, it does get old after a while. I mean, it's like, ooh, exciting. And then it's like, oh, yeah, Jedi versus Sith. Whereas with Trek, it's like, oh, a new ship, a new crew, a new storyline, a new area, new enemies, new origins, expansion on origins. And it's cool. It's fun. And there's tie-ins and all that good shit. So yeah, I would say story-wise, Trek takes it. And it's not always about like who's the better person. It's about how you perceive it from your perspective but also objectively as well. Merchandise wise, man, that's a really hard one. I would say Star Wars. I would say Star Wars because they. Well, no, actually, I don't know. It's hard because I get pissy with Star Wars merchandise because every fucking time, and I probably did say this before, every time there's new stuff that comes out, like Star Wars Resistance, The Mandalorian, Jedi Fallen Order, um, Cassian Andor series, Obi-Wan Kenobi show, um, and Clone Wars Season 7, they always pump out the OT every fucking time. Even when Solo came out, the first toy in the Hot Wheels line was Darth Vader. Motherfucker wasn't even in a film. Like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, why? And they pumped out Rogue One stuff as well. Like, that has nothing to do with it. Like, stop pumping out. It's dumb. It's like, stop relying on the OT to help sell your shit. Like, you have a dedicated fan base. Although we're divided. Well, we shouldn't be, but whatever. It's gonna happen. Nobody's ever really truly happy. Most of us just need the fandom to keep us from drowning in our own sorrow and shit. And it's nice to have that. It's nice to have an outlet for our issues. You know, it's good to have an outlet, or not an outlet, a security blanket to help us through our issues. And it's nice. And I like that. It makes it fun. Ugh. But yeah, like movie wise, if we're comparing movies and shows between two of them, I would definitely say Trek takes it in terms of, you know, if we're doing versus show movies and shows together. Yeah, Trek. Definitely Trek. Because Trek stayed relevant through television over the years. Even though there was, you know, a major gap in time, they stayed relevant through TV, whereas Star Wars only made themselves stay relevant in film over the years. And there was a giant gap between that shit. If we're talking in terms of, you know, books and comics versus each other, well, I have to give it objectively and personally, I have to give it to Star Wars because I've read Star Wars more. So I'm more fluent in Star Wars stories and shit versus Trek. But, you know, I've only read like a few things of Trek. And I'm being honest, like I've only read like maybe under 10 things of Trek. So I gotta catch up. If we're talking in terms of memorable characters and memorable characters, ships, storylines, those three combined objectively, that's a hard one. I would have to say that's a tie because both fandoms have memorable characters that, you know, we all pick and love. We all choose and love. We all have ones that, you know, they're our top favorites. They're our top go-tos in every single fucking online poll. No matter what poll you're in, there's always one of the original characters from any fandom in there. That's a pick. That's always chosen. You know, even if it's a movie poll, if it's a character poll, one of them's the favorite. And in Star Wars, it's always Luke, or it's always Vader, or it's always whoever, and it's whatever. It's annoying. If it's Star Trek, it's Kirk, or it's Spock, or whoever. But it's all good. It's all in good fun. But people get pissy about that shit. Oh my god. I'm seeing it on Twitter. It's nasty. So, as a whole, franchises as a whole, objectively, I'd say objectively it's a tie. And from my POV, it's a tie. For me personally, I'm definitely gonna go with that's a tough one. That's really tough because I'm like man, what like how is it darker? Like which one's darkest? Which one's better? Um I guess Star Wars. I guess I don't know. It's hard to pick because like their mainstay. I don't know, it's hard because the mainstay is always Jedi versus Sith, and new enemies and shit. It's fun, but if I look at it, from like if I recall everything I've ever watched of Trek, like the Mirror Universe was the best storyline out of Star Trek. Like that's the reason why most of us watched it was for that. And Q. So it's just hard. Like Star Wars made themselves relevant through media versus movie versus TV shows. Like when they had a gap in not having films, they put out books. They put out video games, comics, and books for you to listen and read. Just to keep it going and everything. It was amazing. Trek, like I said before, stayed relevant in TV and a couple movies over the years, and then Gap and all that. So yeah, it's hard to pick because they're both so damn good. Star Wars had Infinities, which was nice. I love that so much, but it didn't. It should have picked up more steam. There should have been more to it, and that's basically the mirror universe of Star Wars. Just the Infinities OT, which was nice, but they should have done more. There should be an Infinities prequels, and there should be an Infinities sequels as well, because I would love the shit out of that. Oh man. So that's just my take. That's my take on Star Trek versus Star Wars. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did going through all this shit because there was a lot to cover. It was a lot to fucking cover. Oh my god. Whew. Man, I'm starting to get a small headache over it too. So, till next time, like and subscribe. For thoughts and prayers, man.